Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India News Hour, India's Voice of the World. I'm Preeti Kaur. Coming up in the next 1 hour. 7-day rituals for consecration of Ram Temple in India's Ayodhya begins today. Rituals to culminate on January 22nd with a grand ceremony. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi discusses global issues with Russian President Vladimir Putin, assures India's support for Russia's presidency of BRICS. Historic day for both India and Argentina as they sign agreement for lithium exploration and mining project. India acquires 5 lithium blocks in Argentina. Argentinian Lionel Messi wins the best FIFA Men's Player Award for the second successive year. Spanish Aitana Bonmati wins Best Women's Player Award. Let's get you the special stories from Ayodhya ahead of the grand opening of Ram Temple on 22nd of this month. As the consecration of Ram Temple at Ayodhya draws near, take a look at the 7-day rituals of the consecration ceremony beginning from Tuesday. Anita Raj reports.
Ayodhya, the Uttar Pradesh town situated on the banks of Saryu, is set to witness the 7-day rituals of the consecration ceremony of Ram Temple that begins on Tuesday. The rituals will culminate on January 22nd with the grand ceremony that will be presided over by India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi and will be attended by thousands of other guests. The final countdown for Ram Temple's consecration ceremony has begun. The religious rituals will begin from January 16th and will continue till January 21st. On January 22nd, Pran Pratishtha ceremony will take place. The schedule includes an atonement ceremony and Dashwit bath on January 16th. On January 17th, the Pran Pratishtha ceremony will mark a pivotal step in the festivities following the worship of Lord Ganesha. January 18th will witness the commencement of special rituals, adding to the auspiciousness of the occasion. At the Ram Temple on January 19th, a Yagya fire pit will be prepared, guided by Vedic mantras and special methods, a ritual of profound significance for devotees. On January 20th, the Sanctum Sanctorum of the Ram Mandir will undergo purification with water from various rivers. The ceremonious bathing of Ram Lalla will take place on January 21st, accompanied by Yagya rituals, enhancing the spiritual atmosphere. The much-anticipated consecration will unfold on January 22nd, coinciding with the auspicious Mrigashira Nakshatra. Devotees eagerly await the chance to witness this significant event, seeking a glimpse of Ram Lalla during the consecration ceremony. 51-inch tall stone idol of Lord Ram, depicting him as a 5-year-old child, to be installed in the temple, weighing between 150 kilograms and 200 kilograms, and depicts the deity in a standing posture. Anita Raj's report, DD India.
All right, our correspondent Siddharth Bhardwaj is joining us from Ayodhya. Siddharth, when we talk of the 7-day ritual starting today, this will be, in fact, marking an important day. You're there in Ayodhya, and I can see a lot of fog behind you, but I'm sure the spirits of the people there are relentless. And when we talk of the preparations, tell us, is the stage all set there?
Well, first of all, Preeti, a very good morning to you. Well, there's a fog here, but the spirits are certainly high. This is a special morning. I'm here in Ayodhya, the temple town, the sacred place. And, the city is buzzing with excitement, Preeti. People are very much excited. Pilgrims, the tourists, the devotees, they all are excited for the big day, 22nd of January, for the consecration ceremony. But before that also, you know, for the Vedic rituals which will be leading up to the big day, they're excited for that as well. You know, when I talk to you, there's a sense of devotion in the air, and there's a collective eagerness amongst the locals to make this event a grand success. And also, the authorities are leaving no stone unturned to make this event, you know, a grand success. And they're ensuring that everything goes smooth. You know, Preeti, let me just tell you that Ayodhya, the temple town, has gone through a major transformation for good in terms of infrastructure, you know, in terms of ease of commute, in terms of business as well. So, you know, let me just tell you one by one. When I say infrastructure, I mean the widening of roads. I mean the beautiful street lights which have been placed. You know, they illuminate beautifully. And also the signages, you know, which help people from all walks of life who are coming here, you know, identifying where what place is actually. And you know, when you enter Ayodhya, you see graffiti on your left and right of Lord Ram. So when you're entering in Ayodhya, imagine this beautiful moment that you are just going through the journey of Lord Ram. That's how beautifully things are placed in the temple town. When I say ease of commute, then Preeti, you must be knowing that Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi came here a few days back, and he inaugurated the redeveloped Ayodhya Ram Junction railway station, and also flagged off the Vande Bharat trains and Amrit Bharat trains. Also inaugurated the terminal of Maharishi Valmiki International Airport. Now, what does it mean? It means that the influx of tourists will be more and more here. And when the influx of tourists will be more here, then it will certainly impact the business in a positive manner. Local vendors, small to big businesses, they all will benefit, you know, and everyone here. It's just certainly a very happy moment. You know, everything is just quite happy here, right, in the temple town.
All right, Siddharth, you're talking of infrastructure development, you're talking of beautification of Ayodhya city, but then, you know, all this will live with Ayodhya for long. It's not just about the consecration ceremony or the big event on January 22nd. You must have interacted with the locals there. What are their expectations, though they want this event to be a grand success? But you're talking of how, you know, this changeover of this makeover of Ayodhya, how far will it be a game changer for the people there and the economy there?
Well, certainly, Preeti, like I said, locals are very, very happy here. They are pretty much happy because their businesses is booming right now, certainly. And, you know, it's not just for now. You know, it will be for the years to come. Like I said, the influx of tourism, I like to, you know, explain this with an example. That suppose if there is a local vendor who's selling flowers, and on the other hand, the tourism is booming in the city, then these tourists will certainly buy flowers from this vendor. And his business will certainly witness a sharp rise. So there are local vendors like the flower seller, you know, who are certainly witnessing a sharp rise in their business. So from small business to big business, this place is certainly, all in all, is benefiting when it comes to economy. Also, economy is getting benefited all in all. For this reason, it's a win-win situation here, Preeti. You know, tourists are coming. It is becoming a new destination for tourism. And like I said, international, you know, Maharishi Valmiki International Airport, people from all walks of life will come here, you know, from all around the globe. And when the tourism will certainly increase in the city, the business will also increase in the city. So it's a win-win situation for the region in terms of economy. People are happy. You know, people are also happy for the consecration ceremony, which will take place on 22nd of January. All in all, here in the temple town, everyone is happy. I've had a word with the pilgrims here. They are very much happy. You know, this place is certainly giving a vibe of you know, of a different kind. Everyone is happy. You're just walking. This city is buzzing with excitement, and everything here is good.
All right, a vibe of a different kind. Thank you so much, Siddharth, for joining in with those details. All right, as the date for the Ram Temple consecration ceremony nears, the preparations are in full swing and have entered their final stages. To get us more on this, we have our correspondent Vishal Baristo spelling out more details.
Doordarshan has made elaborate arrangements for the live coverage of the whole ceremony. In fact, 40 cameras would be covering the live ceremony of the consecration ceremony, and also they would be providing clean feed to other channels through ANI and PTI, which are the agencies. Also, the Press Information Bureau has set up a portal through which a key would be generated, and anybody requesting for the live streaming would be granted both nationally and internationally. In fact, the Information and Broadcasting Ministry yesterday in its press conference also said that Media Center has also been set up in Ayodhya, where media persons could sit and file their stories. They have also set up a portal where you can register yourself till 6 p.m. tomorrow, and so that you get the passes. Both the UP government and the Press Information Bureau are working in tandem to make it a smooth coverage. And also, for any eventuality, the Defense Ministry has also set up a beam emergency facility. So the whole ceremony is going to start by 12:30. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, along with the RSS chief Mohan Bhagwat, the Governor and Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh, would be participating in that ceremony that starts at 12:30 during the day on 22nd, and it would continue till 1 o'clock. Doordarshan would continue with its live coverage on the next day as well, and it would screen the live puja aarti ceremony on the next day, that is the 23rd. And also, when the temple is opened for the general public, it would also be telecasting it live. So it is going to be a mega arrangement as far as Doordarshan is concerned. All things would be screened and transmitted in 4K, and Doordarshan has the exclusive right for this coverage. So it's going to be a very big day for Doordarshan.
And taking forward Prime Minister Narendra Modi's Swachh Tirth Cleanliness Drive initiative, India's Defence Minister Rajnath Singh offered prayers at Hanuman Setu Temple in Lucknow and also cleaned Hanuman Setu Temple premises. Earlier, Union Minister of Commerce and Industry Piyush Goyal too led a cleanliness drive held at Ram Temple at Andheri East in Mumbai. A quick look at the other stories making it to the headlines from across India. A dense layer of fog is seen from Punjab to northeast India across Haryana, North Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar and West Bengal at 5:30 a.m. today. Airports visibility data showed very less visibility in dense to very dense fog conditions. Palama Airport reported 10 meters visibility early on Tuesday morning. Around 30 flights and trains have been delayed due to fog conditions. Scores of tourists were left disappointed after no snowfall received in India's Shimla and Gulmarg. These areas, usually abuzz with tourists at this time of the year for skiing and other activities, has seen lack of snowfall affecting tourism industry this year. Jazz legends Herbie Hancock, Deanne Reeves, accompanied by Herbie Hancock Institute of Jazz, honored and celebrated the life and legacy of Martin Luther King Jr. in New Delhi on Monday. The jazz legends showcased their musical prowess to highlight the powerful connection between India and the US and how Martin Luther's journey was deeply influenced by Mahatma Gandhi's principles of non-violence. Republic Day parade rehearsals underway at New Delhi's Kartavya Path ahead of India's 75th Republic Day. Marching contingents were seen in early hours of Tuesday amidst dense fog and cold winter conditions. We're heading for a short break, but still to come on this edition of DD India News Hour. Trump wins Iowa caucus, cementing his firm status as the front-runner for the Republican presidential nomination. North Korea's Kim calls for South to be seen as primary foe, warns of war. Israeli Defense Minister says only military pressure will secure release of hostages as Hamas airs video purporting to show 2 hostages killed in captivity.
In a world that never stops, where information shapes our reality, one app stands out, helps you stay ahead of time. Introducing the DD India app, your gateway to a world of news right at your fingertips. Your most trusted source of news goes global, goes digital. Explore a world of options, top stories, live updates, in-depth analysis, and more. Stay informed wherever you are. Real-time alerts keep you ahead of the curve always. The DD India app, connecting you to the world, one story at a time. Download now and explore the world of knowledge, insights, and authentic information.
Welcome back after the break. You're watching DD India News Hour. Let's get you more international updates. It was perhaps the least surprising victory in the history of Iowa caucuses. Donald Trump romped to a lightning-quick victory in the first contest in the Republican race for a presidential nomination. Braving frigid cold, his supporters turned out to cement his status as the presumptive Republican standard-bearer to challenge Biden in November's election. For the first time since he lost his 2020 re-election bid, the former U.S. president, who is being prosecuted in 4 criminal cases, faced the voters. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis stands second in the race, while former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley finishes third in Iowa. Speaking from his campaign headquarters in Iowa, Trump thanked his supporters, saying, "This is the time now for everybody, our country, to come together." DD India correspondent William Denslow tells us more.
Weather here in Iowa is absolutely freezing. If you take into account the wind chill, it's down currently at around minus 30 degrees Celsius. But support for Donald Trump remains red hot amongst Republican voters here in the Hawkeye state. Less than 5% of caucus votes have been tallied, but already major US media outlets are projecting the former president as the winner here in Iowa.
Well, I want to thank everybody. This has been some period of time, and most importantly, we want to thank the great people of Iowa. Thank you. We love you all. What a turnout, what a crowd. And I really think this is time now for everybody, our country, to come together. We want to come together, whether it's Republican or Democrat or liberal or conservative. It would be so nice if we could come together and straighten out the world and straighten out the problems and straighten out all of the death and destruction that we're witnessing. It's practically never been like this. It's just so important, and I want to make that a very big part of our message. We're going to come together. It's going to happen soon, Jim. It's going to happen soon.
The real question still to be decided is who comes second, former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley or Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. When it comes to the significance of Iowa, it only accounts for around a couple of percent of the total delegates needed to become the Republican Party's nominee to be president. But it's all about this keyword, momentum. It is a long campaign with the candidates crisscrossing the nation to decide who will ultimately be the party's candidate. But this is a very strong first step from Donald Trump. Strength of the former president, that brand recognition, of course, that he has. And he's really been running this campaign almost like an incumbent. He's been avoiding the debates from the other Republican hopefuls, really sending a message that he is the rightful heir apparent to be the next Republican presidential nominee, and letting the other candidates really battle it out in the sandbox. So what we're seeing from voters in Iowa is they're very much adhering to that confidence that Donald Trump has been portraying. For Ron DeSantis, this is an incredibly significant state for him to perform well in. Unlike some other candidates, he has been to each of the 99 counties in the state of Iowa. He's attended more campaign events than Nikki Haley and Donald Trump combined. So he's put plenty of eggs in the Iowa basket. So for many analysts, a disappointing night here in Iowa could be a huge setback for his campaign.
And now we listen into some of the reactions from Iowa residents supporting Trump.
I can't divorce myself from Trump. I mean, his qualifications and his performance over the last term that he had, and the persecution that he's put himself through, or they've put him through, is just unreal. 8
years ago now when he took over, he made significant changes in what went on. I don't think there's another person running that is strong enough to fight the establishment and to get things done.
Trump, because I know we both feel the same, and he's done an awesome job in the past, and I know he'll take care of business this time. And he's real important to us, and I think he's going to do an excellent job.
I don't think there's ever been a more important time for President Trump. Our world is going to hell in a handbasket if we don't stop it.
All right, let's turn focus to the Korean Peninsula now. South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol has criticized North Korea's move to define the South as a hostile country. He said the move showed Pyongyang's anti-national and ahistorical nature. Yoon vowed that provocations will be met with its own response on a multiplied scale. Earlier, Kim Jong-un called for a constitutional amendment to change the status of South Korea to a separate state. In a speech to the Supreme People's Assembly, North Korea's rubber-stamp parliament, Kim warned that while his country doesn't seek war, it did not intend to avoid it. According to state media, 3 organizations dealing with unification and inter-Korean tourism will shut down. Earlier, South Korea, the United States and Japan, in a call on Monday, condemned North Korea's launch of a solid-fuel intermediate-range ballistic missile a day earlier. According to the State Department release, the 3 sides underscored that such actions are dangerous, irresponsible, and destabilizing to regional and international security. It added that the missile launch violated multiple UN Security Council resolutions. Pyongyang fired the solid-fuel intermediate-range ballistic missile on Sunday. Chris Gilbert joins us with more from Tokyo. Chris, good morning. Now, we know that North Korea's Kim calls for South to be seen as a primary foe and has also warned of a war. Given the timing, help us understand how grave is this observation by Pyongyang?
Yeah, well, the 2 countries have been at war for 74 years, and that is still continuing, and it's not really looking to change from either side at the moment. So what we can really glean from this is that the verbosity continues from both sides. It's the same old from Japan, South Korea, and the US, that North Korea is destabilizing peace and security in the region, and that they want a free and open Indo-Pacific, and condemning missile launches. And from North Korea, the war of words, saying that if they feel provoked at all, they will, not be afraid to strike. But at the moment, they are working on really reinforcing their missile arsenal. Experts here in Tokyo have told me that, Kim Jong-un has very likely seen what happens to other countries which stand opposite the United States in the world, and other leaders such as Gaddafi, when they do not have nuclear weapons, and that is very likely why North Korea is pursuing them with so much enthusiasm. Now, in terms of the Constitution, it's also worth remembering that in North Korea, the army, the party, and the state are all the same thing. And so, although legally this might smooth some things to respond to any military action by the US or South Korea, it doesn't make a huge difference on the internal workings of the decisions that are being made inside North Korea. But at the moment, it is very much another day of both countries accusing the other of being provocative.
Do we also have any international reactions coming on this?
Well, you know, Japan, as always, is looking to stand beside the United States and its international, you know, its foreign policy direction. South Korea and the US are today launching, you know, more war drills, these ones near Guam, and they, at the start of 2023, you know, very clearly set their intention to expand their joint war games and their military drills together. But these are precisely the things that North Korea says it is responding to. These are the exercises that it feels are being provocative towards it. And of course, you know, we've seen a couple times over the last year the United States parking nuclear-armed submarines in Busan, just south of the DMZ. And so this is the reason why you know, North Korea says, or you know, what it claims is the reason why North Korea says it is pursuing the development of you know, more highly sophisticated and better functioning missiles. It remains to be seen if any of this you know, verbosity from either side is going to result in more missile tests, because 2022 was a relatively quiet year for North Korea when it comes to missile tests compared to the year before. So 2023 was a quiet year, or if it comes to more military responses and drills by South Korea and the US.
All right, Chris, we'll leave it here. Thank you for joining in with those details. Let's turn focus to Israel-Hamas conflict now. Israel has asserted that only military pressure on Hamas will force them to release the hostages. Comments from Defense Minister Yoav Gallant came after Hamas released a new video that purportedly showed the dead bodies of 2 Israeli hostages killed in captivity. While Israel's defense minister was asked about the fate of hostages held by Hamas, he said that Hamas is carrying out a psychological abuse.
The release of hostages will only happen as a result of military pressure. If we stop the military pressure, we will seal the fate to stay in Gaza, because Hamas will not be motivated to discuss or talk to us. They only talk to us when they want something. The something now is ceasefire. The moment we give them ceasefire without a price, they won't talk to us.
While in the same video, a third Israeli hostage can be seen reading a script in front of a black-white wall, saying that the 2 were killed by our own IDF strikes, referring to the Israeli military, but Israel has refuted the claims.
Itai was not shot by our forces. That is a Hamas lie. The building in which they were held was not a target, and it was not attacked by our forces. We didn't know exactly their locations. We don't attack a place if we know there may be hostages inside. We know that we targeted locations that are close to where they were held captive.
Israel's Defense Minister Yoav Gallant also said on Monday that the Israeli troops have been withdrawn from a division stationed at the southern Gaza area. Earlier, as per the Israeli army, they have dismantled Hamas's military structures in the north and is looking forward to achieve the same goal in the south by pressing on their ground operations in the southern cities of Khan Yunis and Rafah in the recent weeks.
We have completed the implementation stages, and we have moved on to the intensive stage that lasted for 3 months. This stage in the north of Gaza Strip has ended. In the south of the Strip, we will continue, and it will end soon. In both areas, we will reach a moment that we will move to the next stages.
Iran's armed forces, Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, struck spy headquarters of Israel in Iraq's semi-autonomous Kurdistan region and Syria with ballistic missiles. The US has condemned the Iranian attacks and has also said that they oppose such reckless missile strikes. As per Iran, these attacks are revenge for the killings of 3 members of the guards in Syria due to an Israeli airstrike last month. The strikes come after West Asia conflict, primarily between Israel and Hamas, rages on, with Iran's allies from Lebanon, Syria, Iraq and Yemen also joining hands against Israel. Iran has also vowed for more such attacks. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar, who is on a visit to Iran, raised concern during his meeting regarding the increasing number of attacks on merchant ships in the Red Sea zone by Tehran-backed Yemen Houthis, terming the attacks on ships in the vicinity of India as a matter of grave concern to the international community. The minister said that such threats have a direct bearing on India's energy and economic interest, as he underlined that this fraught situation is not to the benefit of any party.
maritime commercial traffic in this important part of the Indian Ocean. The Minister also referred to it. We have even seen some attacks in the vicinity of India. This is a matter of grave concern to the international community. Obviously, it also has a direct bearing on India's energy and economic interests. This broad situation is not to the benefit of any party, and this must be clearly recognized.
Meanwhile, Iranian Foreign Minister has warned the United States and Britain to stop the attack against Yemen. He made the remarks at a joint press conference with his Indian counterpart in Tehran.
The United States cannot call for restraint while supporting Israel or provoke a conflict in the Red Sea by attacking Yemen while claiming that it does not want a wider war in the region.
We're heading for a short break on DD India News Hour, but after the break, Bernardo Aravelo sworn in as Guatemala's new president, riding on transparency promise. Iceland volcano recedes after Black Day of town fires. And stay with us for a quick sneak peek into the lavish attires and glamour at the 75th Emmy Awards.
Wherever news breaks, whatever it takes.
Connecting corners, cutting across continents.
Stories that matter from across the globe.
Accurate, authentic journalism that serves you right. From politics to glamour, from sports to world affairs, with a fusion of aesthetics and substance. Introducing news in a new avatar. Experience the world through a new lens. Stay tuned to DD India for an exciting journey beyond borders.
Welcome back after the break. You're watching DD India News Hour. Let's get to a quick relook at the top stories once again. 7-day rituals for consecration of Ram Temple in India's Ayodhya begins today. Rituals to culminate on January 22nd with a grand ceremony. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi discusses global issues with Russian President Vladimir Putin, assures India's support for Russia's presidency of BRICS. Historic day for both India and Argentina as they sign agreement for lithium exploration and mining project. India acquires 5 lithium blocks in Argentina. Argentinian Lionel Messi wins the Best FIFA Men's Player Award for the second successive year. Spanish Aitana Bonmati wins Best Women's Player Award. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Russian President Vladimir Putin held a telephonic conversation on Monday. The two leaders reviewed progress on a number of issues of bilateral cooperation in the follow-up to recent high-level exchanges between the two countries. They positively assessed the development in bilateral relations and agreed to develop a roadmap for future initiatives to further strengthen the India-Russia special and privileged strategic partnership. They also exchanged views on regional and global issues of mutual interest. Prime Minister conveyed his best wishes for Russia's presidency of BRICS in 2024 and assured of India's full support. The two leaders also agreed to remain in touch. Updates on Russia-Ukraine summit. Now, Switzerland has agreed to host a global peace summit on Ukraine at the request of Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky on Monday. The Swiss government said that Switzerland will host a summit on the peace formula at the request of President Zelensky, with planning starting on Tuesday. Meanwhile, Zelensky said that we are open to all countries that respect our sovereignty and territorial integrity at the peace summit. He also insisted the presence of the Global South. Zelensky arrived in Switzerland to participate in the World Economic Forum in Davos on Monday.
As for the list of countries, we are open to all countries of the world that respect our sovereignty and territorial integrity. So you can make your own conclusion about who we invite. We would like the Global South countries definitely to be present.
Global South.
And speaking on the sidelines of the World Economic Forum, Belarusian opposition leader Svetlana Tikhanovskaya said that Belarus is waiting for Ukraine to engage in official political meetings.
So actually we met with President Zelensky unofficially. It was a bilateral meeting, and I see that official Kyiv is rather cautious about officially communicating the democratic process of Belarus. It's understandable on the one hand, but we are waiting until they will be ready to meet with us.
Ukraine's military said that its air force destroyed a Russian plane and a command post in an operation on Monday. It added that Ukraine knocked down a Russian Beriev 50 surveillance plane and an Ilyushin Tu-22 airborne command post in the Sea of Azov area. The aircraft tracking map suggested the planes were struck over the Sea of Azov, which lies to the east of the occupied Crimean Peninsula. Kyiv did not disclose how the aircraft were struck. Hours after Ukrainian Army Chief Valery Zaluzhny's statement, a Russian military blog posted an image of the shrapnel-riddled tail section of an Tu-22 standing on tarmac and lauded the crew as real heroes. Guatemala's armed forces recognized President Bernardo Arevalo as their commander-in-chief during a ceremony on Monday. Leftist Bernardo Arevalo was sworn in as Guatemala's new president after the ceremony was delayed for hours by hostile lawmakers. Guatemala's new president, Bernardo Arevalo, faces huge obstacles to anti-graft drive. During the military ceremony, Guatemalan Defense Minister Henry Saenz asked the international community and Guatemalans to trust that the armed forces would respect democracy and peace agreements. Arevalo, an academic and former diplomat, powered to victory in August, vowed to lift up millions of poor indigenous Guatemalans, crack down on corruption and protect a democracy that has been under attack. Political tension was running high in the Comoros on Monday, with violent incidents reported one day after the presidential vote. Comoros kicked off its first round of presidential election on Sunday to select the national leader from among 6 candidates, including incumbent President Azali Assoumani, for the next 5 years. Supporters of the 5 opposition candidates have accused electoral authorities of delaying voting in their electoral strongholds. The result of the first round is expected sometime this week. Provisional results may be announced on Monday by the country's electoral commission. If no candidate wins more than 50% of the votes, the 2 candidates with the highest number of votes will proceed to a runoff round on February 25th. Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk said on Monday that he expected presidential and opposition support the new government's judicial reform, separating the function of Justice Minister and General Prosecutor. Speaking to reporters after the meeting with President Andrzej Duda, Tusk said he had offered the Justice Minister his full support in making the prosecutor's office independent. Duda condemned the dismissal of the state prosecutor on Monday, escalating a conflict between the head of the state and the new government.
I would like it very much for the President and the opposition to work together with us on the bill that will make the Polish prosecutor's office independent from the politicians. Maybe it will sound a bit brutal, but it is in the opposition's interest, and it is in the President's interest to make Poland's prosecutor's office and Polish judicial system independent from the government and politicians.
U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin was released from the hospital on Monday, 2 weeks after he was admitted for complications following prostate cancer surgery. Austin, who had been hospitalized since January 1st, will perform his duties remotely before returning full-time to the Pentagon. On January 14th, White House National Security spokesman John Kirby told media that Austin's doctors think he may need additional care. Austin said in a statement that he was grateful for the care he received and thanked the medical personnel who tended to him and all those who sent well wishes. A volcano that erupted in southwest Iceland twice in less than a month spewed lava for a second night on Monday, although volcanic activity had eased since eruption. Molten lava flows reached the outskirts of Grandavik around noon on Sunday. The town had been evacuated and there was no immediate danger to people. The crack in the Earth's surface that opened close to Grandavik on Sunday was no longer active on Monday, and lava production from the larger fissure north of the town was decreasing. Meteorological office said that new cracks might appear within Grandavik in the next few days. It was the second eruption on the peninsula of Reykjanes in 4 weeks and the 5th since 2021. In Colorado, plow machines have been deployed after heavy snow filled in the streets of the U.S. state. Recently, most of the United States is gripped by an Arctic blast on Monday in the northern states and Texas, and potentially dampening turnout in Iowa. The dangerously frigid weather is expected to continue throughout the day, hitting the Midwest hardest and freezing rain across the southern and mid-Atlantic states. Heavy rains buffeted Brazilian city and killed at least 12 people. The rain flooded streets, the capital city's metro line, and people's homes, bringing down trees and causing landslides. Rio's Mayor Eduardo Paes announced a state of emergency, while President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva's government offered federal support. All right, up next we take a look at other stories making it to the headlines from across the world. 43 prisoners escaped Ecuador's jail amid continued military operations. President Daniel Noboa declared a 60-day state of emergency last week, including a nighttime curfew, and designated 22 criminal groups as terrorists. Operations will continue throughout Ecuador this week. Noboa was elected last year on pledges to restore security. The World Health Organization appealed for a $1.5 billion funding to respond to the health needs of millions of people caught up in dozens of humanitarian crises around the globe. The WHO CEO, Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus, said that estimated 166 million people would require health assistance around the world this year. Farmers and their tractors rumbled towards Berlin from every corner of Germany on Sunday ahead of a giant protest demanding a rethink of plan to tax farmers more. The protests are expected to draw 3,000 tractors, 2,000 trucks and 10,000 people from around the country, and will cap a week of nationwide unrest that has put further strain on Chancellor Olaf Scholz's coalition as it grapples with budget mess and rising far-right forces. The stars are all out and shining even brighter at the 75th Emmy Awards taking place in Los Angeles. This year's Emmy will be boasting a recreation of the iconic conveyor belt chocolate scene from the 1952 sitcom serial I Love Lucy. The show is bringing out stars as Joy Sunday, Ken Jeong and Padma Lakshmi, who arrived in their best fashion to celebrate the TV's biggest night.
You're perfect, and that smile with the front, there you go. Beautiful. Rachel, right to your left, please. Love it. Over that shoulder, Rachel. Oh, hey. And that smile. That smile right here, please.
We're heading for a short break, but still to come on this edition of DD India News Hour. Asian markets continue to show sluggish trend. Indian indices affected too. India celebrates National Startup Day, aims to build strong ecosystem for nurturing innovation. In women's hockey, India take on Italy in the final group match to stay on course to Paris 2024.
In a world that never stops, where information shapes our reality, one app stands out, helps you stay ahead of time. Introducing the DD India app, your gateway to a world of news right at your fingertips. Your most trusted source of news goes global, goes digital. Explore a world of options, top stories, live updates, in-depth analysis, and more. Stay informed wherever you are. Real-time alerts keep you ahead of the curve always. The DD India app, connecting you to the world, one story at a time. Download now and explore the world of knowledge, insights, and authentic information. Wherever news breaks, whatever it takes.
Connecting corners, cutting across continents.
Stories that matter from across the globe.
Accurate, authentic journalism that serves you right. From politics to glamour, from sports to world affairs, with a fusion of aesthetics and substance. Introducing news in a new avatar. Experience the world through a new lens. Stay tuned to DD India for an exciting journey beyond borders.
We just don't bring you the news as it unfolds. We get to the heart of the matter.
We don't just present facts. We demystify complex social, political and economic events.
We break stories that shape the world's present and future because you deserve the truth.
I am Tanvi Taneja from New Delhi.
I'm Ollie Barrett from London.
I'm Nick Harper from Washington, D.C.
Join us on DD India Global Monday to Friday at these times.
Welcome back after the break. You're watching DD India News Hour. Let's get you updates from the world of business now. Asian stocks continue to show sluggish trends at the opening session on Tuesday. The markets were down this morning. Even Nikkei, which traded in green on Monday, broke its rally and fell 0.6%. Hang Seng, ASX 200 and Kospi were down by up to 1%. US markets, which ended in red last Friday, were closed on Monday due to Martin Luther King holiday. Stock futures held small losses. India's benchmark indices, Sensex and Nifty, which scaled new highs on Monday, opened on a muted note today. Crude, which had eased on Monday amidst Red Sea tensions and demand worries, maintained its level at $78 per barrel on Tuesday morning. In a significant development, the Indian government has signed an agreement for lithium exploration in Argentina. The agreement was signed between Khanij Bidesh India Limited or Kabil and the state-owned enterprise Camian of Catamarca province of Argentina on Monday. Now, this is the first ever lithium exploration and mining project by a government-owned India company. Kabil will send exploration and development of 5 lithium brine blocks covering an area of about 16,000 hectares located in the Catamarca province of Argentina. Kabil is also preparing to set up a branch office in Catamarca, Argentina for the project, the cost of which is about 2 billion rupees. Argentina is part of Lithium Triangle along with Chile and Bolivia, with more than half of the world's total lithium deposits. Speaking about the significant milestone, Prahlad Joshi said, and I quote him, "This is a historic day for both India and Argentina as we are scripting a new chapter in bilateral ties with the agreement between Kabil and Camian, a step which will not only play a crucial role in driving the energy transition for sustainable future, but also ensure a resilient and diversified supply chain for critical and strategic minerals essential for various industries in India." India is celebrating National Startup Day on January 16th. The Startup India initiative was launched by Prime Minister Narendra Modi in 2016 to build a strong ecosystem for nurturing innovation, boosting startups and encouraging investments in the country. DD India correspondent Shubhendu Ghosh traces the milestones of this flagship program.
हिंदुस्तान का कोई जिला, हिंदुस्तान का कोई ब्लॉक ऐसा न हो कि आने वाले दिनों में नए स्टार्टअप शुरू न हुए हो। क्या भारत ये सपना नहीं दे सकता कि हम दुनिया में स्टार्टअप की दुनिया में भारत नंबर 1 पर पहुंचेगा?
In 2016, from the ramparts of the Red Fort, Prime Minister Narendra Modi made a clarion call to transform India into a global startup hub. As India celebrates National Startup Day, the nation's passionate engagement with innovation and entrepreneurship has come a long way. Startup India program has completed 8 years. Number of startups have skyrocketed from 400 startups in 2016 to more than 1,17,000 startups in 2023. India is home to over 100 unicorns with a total valuation of over $340 billion. Indian startups have created over 1 million direct jobs in diverse areas. Today, India has the 3rd largest startup ecosystem in the world. India's G20 presidency created Startup 20, a platform for innovation leaders from partner countries.
we make eco-friendly batteries out of aloe vera, track and recycle used hazardous batteries into sustainable products. When the Prime Minister himself took the responsibility of making our country as the job provider and problem solver for the world, he not only asked us to start up, but also provided complete handheld support from the scratch to the end, be it in terms of incubation, acceleration, or investments.
At Miramai, we have developed a new method of detecting breast cancer in a completely privacy-aware manner. Nobody sees or touches the person during the test. We use artificial intelligence over thermal scan to make this happen. How founders were perceived 10 years ago versus now is completely changed. It's created some kind of a respect for people who are starting, leaving their job, and then jumping off to do something made in India.
At Dhruva Space, we build, launch, and operate the satellites, making us a full-stack space engineering solution company. Atmanirbhar Bharat concept has given us a lot of mileage in the sense that it's opened up a lot of market for the startups to grow, and also is helping Indian companies establish themselves as superpowers across the world.
The idea behind Startup India was to capitalize on India's demographic dividend, transform Indian youth from being a job seeker to job creator. Today, Indian startups have set a new goal: play a decisive role in India's journey towards becoming a developed nation by 2047. Shubhendu Ghosh for DD India in New Delhi.
Up next, we get you updates from the world of sports now. Argentine Lionel Messi retained the FIFA Men's Player of the Year trophy on Monday, beating Manchester City's treble-winning Norwegian striker Erling Haaland and France's Paris Saint-Germain forward Kylian Mbappe to the award. Messi, who also secured the men's award in 2022 after guiding Argentina to World Cup victory, clinched the League One title with PSG alongside Mbappe following that success, before moving to Major League Soccer team Inter Miami. Messi edged Haaland in tiebreaker after both were on 48 points each, after voting by a global panel of national team coaches and captains, selected journalists, plus fans online. The tiebreaker was whoever had more first place or 5-point scores from the votes of national team captains. That category was 107 to 64 for Inter Miami forward. However, Messi was not present to collect the trophy. On to FIH Hockey Olympic qualifiers now. The Indian women's hockey team will take on Italy in their final group game today in the race for qualification for the Paris Olympics. India have one win, one loss under their belt till now and are standing at the third position in the 4-team pool. On Sunday, they registered 3-1 win against New Zealand in their second Pool B match. A win will only be useful if other results lean India's way, and with New Zealand taking on the US in another game, it just might come down to goal difference, making both getting maximum goals and denying any to the opposition crucial. The India Open 2024 badminton tournament kicked off at the K.D. Jadhav Indoor Hall in New Delhi today. Several top shuttlers, including top Indian shuttlers like H.S. Pranoy and Satvik Sairaj, Ranki Reddy and Chirag Shetty and Lakshya Sen are in action. The India Open, a BWF Super 750 event, is the second tournament on the 2024 badminton calendar after the recently concluded Malaysia Open. Seven-seed Felix Auger-Aliassime outlasted former US Open champion Dominic Thiem in the five-set thriller in the Australian Open on Monday. The Canadian showcased resilience and skill to fend off Thiem's spirited comeback, ultimately securing victory with a scoreline of 6-3, 7-5, 6-7, 5-7, 6-3. Now, this was also Felix's longest match of his career that lasted nearly 5 hours at the Margaret Court Arena. This win added to Thiem's recent struggles at the Grand Slams, where he has experienced a series of first-round exits since reaching the 4th round of the 2021 Australian Open. Making her return to top-flight tennis after being away for 15 months on maternity leave, Japan's Naomi Osaka crashed out of the Australian Open on Monday. The former two-time Australian Open winner lost in straight sets to Caroline Garcia for 6-6, 6-7 at the Rod Laver Arena in the first round. Entering the competition with just 2 weeks of training, Osaka faced a stern challenge from the French star and 16th-seeded Garcia, who, much like Osaka, is also strong on the baseline. Osaka's much awaited and talked about return did not reap enough rewards as she bowed out sluggishly. Ons Jabeur swept into the second round of the Australian Open with a comprehensive 6-3, 6-1 victory against Ukrainian qualifier Yulia Stardudovtseva on Monday. The Tunisian sixth seed, a three-time Grand Slam runner-up, was not at her best but had too much firepower for her 23-year-old opponent who was making her debut in the majors. That's it in this edition of DD India News Hour, but let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. You can connect with us on Facebook, X and also Instagram. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Preeti Kaur signing off, and from all of us here in Delhi, thanks for watching DD India Live.
In a world that never stops, where information shapes our reality,